The morning began like any other. Coffee brewed, cartoons played, toast smelled through the kitchen. I sat at the table scrolling through emails, half listening as our 7-year-old Ethan chattered about school. Then he said it. Mom's friend slept over again last night. His voice was flat, innocent, like he was talking about cereal or soccer practice. But it froze the room. My hand paused mid-reach for my coffee cup. The clink of a spoon on a plate sounded deafening. Emma's face drained of color. "What did you say, honey?" Her voice cracked halfway through the sentence. Ethan blinked, confused. The man with the gray car. He was here when I went to the bathroom. He said, "Hi!" Her lips trembled, eyes darting from me to the floor. She forced a laugh. "Oh, sweetie. That was Mommy's coworker. He just dropped off some papers. Too fast, too sharp." Ethan shrugged and went back to his cereal. I didn't speak, just leaned back. My coffee tasted bitter, heavy. I let the silence hang, suffocating. She turned her back, pretending to wash a cup. Pretending I knew. I'd known for weeks, the messages, the late nights, the fake book club. But I wanted to see how far she'd go, how easily she'd lie with our son sitting right there. I sipped my coffee. "He said hi, huh?" Ethan nodded, mouth full. Emma's hands shook as she wiped the counter. "You must have been asleep." "I didn't hear any car leave this morning," she said quickly, still facing the window. "Right," I murmured. The clock ticked too loud. "You're being weird, Mike. Don't start the day like this." I smiled faintly. "You're right. Let's not ruin breakfast." Relieved, she walked past, but I caught it. A faint scent of cologne I didn't own. The same one I'd smelled on her scarf last week. Ethan finished his cereal and ran off to find his backpack. I sat there, watching the empty chair, the steam rising from her untouched coffee. Everything had already spoken the truth, through our son. I opened the drawer where I'd kept the printed messages, screenshots, receipts, hotel bookings. I laid the folder on the table next to her mug. Not today, not yet. When she came home that night, light on her feet, humming, pretending to be tired, I suggested we watch something. She looked startled. I let her go first, then checked her phone. Messages from someone named R. Last night was worth the risk. Same place tomorrow. Photos from our house. My side of the bed. I placed it back carefully. Calm. The storm had passed. The next morning, I made coffee and placed the folder by her mug. She froze. "What's this?" "You lied, Emma, to both of us," I said quietly. She started to reach for me, crying. I stepped back. "Our son knows more truth than you do right now." Her knees gave out. She sank into a chair. I turned to the window. "You should start packing." "I'll explain it to Ethan," she gasped. "You already did." The truth had spoken before I ever needed to. The confrontation was inevitable. That night when her lover showed up, I didn't yell. I didn't fight. I just watched. Emma realized the consequences of her choices. Ryan, smug and entitled, was nothing more than the next lie she'd told herself. I left them there. I packed a bag. I drove away, letting the quiet absorb the chaos that had been my home. Days later, I returned for Ethan. The house was quiet. He was eating cereal, innocent, unaware that the world he knew had changed. "Dad," he said, "Mom said you went on a trip." "Something like that, buddy." "Are you mad at Mom?" I knelt beside him. "No, sometimes grown-ups just need time to think," he nodded. "Mom cried last night. She said, 'He's gone.'" "I'm right here," I said, tousling his hair. Later, Emma tried to repair what she'd broken. But I didn't argue. I didn't fight. I filed the papers, claimed custody, and protected our son. When she watched us drive away, she understood silence can speak louder than any argument. I didn't hate her. I just didn't recognize her anymore. I drove to a diner, coffee in hand, scrolling through old photos of Ethan, his drawings, his smile. That was what mattered. That was worth keeping, and for the first time in months, the silence didn't hurt. It healed, because sometimes the quiet after betrayal is where you finally find yourself.